Welcome back everyone, and it's time to go balls deep. And it's time for me to use balls deep prediction jutsu. It's time for a balls deep theory.
It's showtime!
In this theory, we are going to discuss how Orochimaru has a big brain and has some prior knowledge about the future threats to the planet, including info about Otsutsuki's karma, the Chakra organization, and you guessed it, Jigen! Also, we are going to explain why Mitsuki and his Sage Mode will be a key component in the war against the Otsutsuki. With that in mind, don't forget to go to our Anime Balls Deep official merch store and get yourself our Jigen merch, because we really do need your support to be financially stable. These companies be copyrighting, claiming us left, right, center up in this bitch. So for this video, I am shouting out Fake History, Nova Chrono, Asta, Killzone, and Abdullah Rafiq for buying the merch. Thanks for tweeting it to me, DMing me on Discord, all that good shit. You are appreciated, thank you. So if you want a shout out in a future video, buy the merch, let us know, and we will let the community know. So straight off the bat, Orochimaru has been an absolute 10 out of 10 character for 18 years now. Did you know that? He's been around since the very beginning arcs of Naruto. He was introduced in the Chunin exams as the very first long-term villain of the series. And ever since then, he's played a major part in the plot from arc to arc. And yet it's never seemed like Kishimoto didn't know what to do with him, solidifying him as one of the greatest characters in all of Naruto and one of the greatest villains in all of anime. In other words, he's really well done, because you guys keep telling us within the Anime Balls Deep community that you agree with us that he is still relevant and must have some sort of role in Boruto's prophecy. One of the things that made Orochimaru so intriguing was his pursuit of knowledge and immortality. He was a man of science and would have all of these experiments to create new jutsu, some of which were forbidden, and the practice of them was punishable by death. But hey, that didn't stop him. He even became a woman, for God's sake. Imagine he went balls deep as a woman. My man knows how it feels like on both sides. I'm joking.
What? What the fuck?
But as we all know, he became Sasuke Uchiha's sensei after planting a curse mark on his neck, knowing he'd come to him in search of power. This went on for many years until he finally decided to observe Sasuke's new perspective on life, and thus he turned over a new leaf and ceased his evil actions, instead desiring to protect the planet from the threat of the Otsutsuki, which he had knowledge of before even us readers did. Orochimaru makes it clear that even though his means are seen as evil to the world, in the end, someone like him can still be necessary and proven useful, as Konoha will receive benefits of keeping him around. Just check out this clip.
自由ではないわよ。あなただって本来なら投獄されてた身の上でしょう。第4次任海大戦の戦犯の一人、兜だって今や孤児院の委員長なんだけどね。正しさだけでは守れないものもあるんだから。だったらうまく飼いならした方がお互いのためになることも。
So how do we know Orochimaru has all this inside intel? Well, being who he is, we also know this because in episode 55, Momoshiki and Kinshiki discovered that all the Kaguya scrolls were gone. A possible explanation for this is that Orochimaru could have taken some scrolls while on his search for knowledge after witnessing the events of the war and Tonori Otsutsuki. Another explanation is that he was able to talk to Tonori. Let's not forget, after the events of Naruto the last movie, there was a gap of 12 to 13 years. Tonori admits that he interfered with Boruto's creation to make him end up having the pure eye. And since we know he can communicate telepathically as he did with Boruto, it wouldn't be far-fetched to say he had a whole conversation with him in which he may have informed him of the Otsutsuki invasion, of what they do and how big of a threat they are to the planet. I mean, let's not act as though Tonori can't be Mitsuki's baby daddy too, guys! Look how identical my guy looks to each other. You guys mention this all the time!
Andrew, you are not surprised.
So knowing all of this, Orochimaru's role in Boruto shouldn't really come as a surprise to us. Whichever way it happened, it's very likely that Orochimaru could have connections to Tonori, as he will prove he has knowledge that Boruto is the Star of Hope. Somehow Orochimaru has this knowledge. For example, Orochimaru purposely gave information about Boruto to his son Mitsuki, which pushed Mitsuki to make his own decision to become the moon to Boruto's son. Orochimaru kept testing Mitsuki over and over and over again until he made a third option himself to leave both Log and Orochimaru to gain the scroll, therefore creating his own thoughts and free will and a path. Now, although to us and Mitsuki, it felt as though he was making his own decision, but was he? And then put dun dun dun. We have to understand that Orochimaru already set the chess game and all the pieces. Otherwise, there wasn't any purpose behind the scroll with Boruto's information for Mitsuki to take off him. This is a piece of evidence that Orochimaru has knowledge that others do not possess and wants Mitsuki to become the moon to Boruto's son out of his own free will. I mean, let's not forget, my guy, the guy has a photo of Boruto beside his bed waking up to it every morning. This isn't exactly normal behavior, is it?
そういや名前つけたか美月
Feels so good.
I'm gay.
Now let's explain what Mitsuki actually is and provide more evidence that Orochimaru wants to make him the moon and assist Boruto's prophecy. I came across an article from an Indian brother that summed it up perfectly. The link will be in the description. Now I know some of you may be thinking, "Ek hi karda pya? Ye sara information koi aur banda se le raha hai. Isko kuch nahi pata hai. Panchot." I'm joking, yeah. Yeah, shout out to my Indian fans, by the way. Thank you for spreading the videos there. Please keep doing that for me. I love you guys. Essentially, he summarized that Mitsuki will illuminate the darkness, something that is inherent in all of us. His idea of being the moon to Boruto stems from an equivalent exchange as partners. Mitsuki is shown a photo of Boruto when he awakens with no memories. His overwhelming insecurities and lack of self is stabilized with the thought of an equal partnership that enhances each other. His initial thoughts, ideas, and perceptions of the world are all linked to Boruto, creating a solid bond between them. I believe that Mitsuki sees Boruto as a positive rival that constantly challenges him to do better. Naruto as a franchise is known for basing most of its symbolism and traditional concepts from reality. Therefore, it is crucial to understand the symbolism of the sun and moon within the shinobi world and how it can be interpreted. The climax of Naruto Shippuden saw Kage Otsutsuki as its final antagonist. In their quest to defeat Kage Otsutsuki, Naruto and Sasuke are bestowed with the 6 paths of power from Hagoromo Otsutsuki, Kage's son. Yet he divides his power between Naruto and Sasuke into the 6 paths Yang power and the 6 paths Yin power. These two in conjunction result in Fuin Jutsu, a sealing power called 6 paths Chubake Tensei, which was the only viable option against Kage Otsutsuki. The interesting observation here is when Hagoromo hands the 6 paths Yang power to Naruto, a sun symbol forms on his right hand, whereas when Sasuke is given the 6 paths Yin power, a moon symbol forms on his left hand. The yin-yang symbol is part of Chinese philosophy that represents a duality of cosmic energies that are opposing and complementary in nature. Even during the training sections of Indra and Asura under the guidance of their father Hagoromo, the banner behind them showcases a crescent moon and a sun. Asura stands on the side of the sun while Indra is on the side of the moon. Therefore, the symbolism of the sun and moon between Mitsuki and Boruto can also be foreshadowing. Given the fact that the main antagonists of the show are the Otsutsuki clan, it makes perfect sense since Naruto and Sasuke had to be the sun and moon to defeat Kaguya. That was such a great written article, wasn't it? Dope! My G, shout out to that dude. Okay. Now, if we look at episode 73 when Boruto discovers that there are multiple Mitsuki clones, Orochimaru admits to Boruto that Mitsuki is in all of these clones, and the fact that the concept of Mitsuki is an experiment of his. Although Orochimaru admits in episode 39 that he loves Mitsuki and Log as his sons as he cares about them deeply, however, he still has a hidden intention behind why he created him. Because Boruto asks why is he so calm that his son ventured off from Konoha and became a missing nin, where he replies by saying there is no need to worry fam, and if anyone gets wind of what Mitsuki actually is, the curse mark that is implanted inside of him would automatically activate and self-destruct him. Orochimaru says he implemented this into Mitsuki because it will protect the secret of his research from being revealed to anyone in the world. There is also the fact that Mitsuki's memories can be replayed, stored, and erased by Orochimaru as if it's a goddamn YouTube video. He can witness and hear everything that Mitsuki is experiencing. Now, important information you should all know about Mitsuki is that he's learning how to become a human, right? For example, he has never cried before, he doesn't need to eat food but he does, and he only recently dreamt for the first time in the Oniki Octo arc. When Orochimaru scans Mitsuki, he says he went through great personal discoveries about his being, wondering what choices are really his own and if he is on the right path. While Orochimaru was proud to see how much he was maturing into a true human being, he was concerned how he still acts as a child while reacting to such a personal loss. Log voiced his disapproval of erasing Mitsuki's memories after how far they had come with him. Ultimately, they gave Mitsuki a choice to continue enduring these painful memories or have his mind reset to before he even met Boruto. On the other hand, Mitsuki decided to keep his memories and bonds with them all. This means it's possible that if Mitsuki does die or something happens to him that doesn't align with Orochimaru's plan to make Mitsuki the moon and the secret being of his, another Mitsuki with the same consciousness memory could just replace him. This is a similar situation to Amado's research with Delta, but in Mitsuki's case he is 100% biological. To sum it up, the whole concept of Mitsuki is trying to find out if he has a free will and what makes a human being. For example, in episode 92, Orochimaru has been monitoring Mitsuki and says becoming lost and wandering alone is necessary for a human, and he sees the development of his character in the Octa arc as if he was entering puberty. But at the same time, Orochimaru told Mitsuki not to reveal his true strength to anyone in the Chunin exams, and if he does, he will not be able to remain in Konoha, which only means that he actually has a true goal of what he wants him to be. Now, even more evidence backing up this theory is the fact that Okio Kadashi, the writer of Boruto, confirmed in volume 10 of the manga that he is heavily focusing on the influence of scientific ninjas and their intelligence in Boruto and how they affect society. He mentions that shinobi are outstanding scientists and specifies Orochimaru and Kabuto as an example. He mentions that people like Orochimaru will be in the forefront of shinobi since they are the ones who are acquiring scientific knowledge, and someone like Orochimaru will be the ones who try to explain everything in creation and the entire natural universe, since it comes from them refining their own jutsu. Over the course of time, ninja ought to come to an understanding about what is being interwoven with the world around them. These types of people would have the desire to understand those aspects of the world, and since they make these discoveries, people will not be able to comprehend the jutsu that they have created. Then he gives an example of how human beings in Naruto can understand something like lightning, so then the Raikiri jutsu is born. The writer of Boruto comes to the conclusion that whenever the world is explained by science, it gives rise to new jutsu. Now, I know some of you are still confused and thinking, what a blood clot is man saying, fam? Using these big ass words saying random mad things about science, fam. But wait a second, yeah? Well, basically, man got that degree in anime bullshit science, right? Don't forget that shit, guys. I'm just like Kodashi, right? I can interpret what he's saying. Essentially, to break it down, Kodashi is insinuating the idea that since Orochimaru is a scientist and his philosophy of wanting to learn everything about jutsu and the world, he will be a key factor and powerhouse to the direction of culture, technology, and story within the Boruto universe, as this is a natural phenomena even in the real world of how things progress. His statements even link back to proving that Orochimaru must know more than he leads on, and he has knowledge of Boruto's prophecy, since Orochimaru states to Mitsuki in the anime that people of the world will not be able to comprehend what he is if he reveals his true nature, so he cannot. Orochimaru wants Mitsuki to unlock free will and come to a certain decision that he has planned for him to become the moon and assist Boruto the sun on his prophecy to save the planet from the Otsutsuki invasion. Boruto's creator, the show's writer, states that to an extent, a hidden village possessing great scientists directly relates to the value of the hidden village itself. Meaning, Konoha got the big bucks, bruh. They got Sasuke, Amado, and Orochimaru. And let's not forget the side piece, Kabuto. Who the hell is gonna stop big brains like this?
This is big brain time.
Okay, so why is Mitsuki and his Sage Mode so important? Well, before I explain this, I'm going to quickly Naruto run through what Sage Mode actually is, right? If you guys remember from the Naruto series, Naruto perfected the technique and took out 5 whole pains on his own. And keep in mind that experienced Jonin at the time, such as Kakashi, he was struggling to even hold his own against 2 paths. That's crazy, right? We have also seen other forms of attaining Sage Mode with Sage Transformation, as we saw this with Jugo and Kabuto. We can pretty much come to the conclusion that Sage Mode is quite ridiculous. It's like a Super Saiyan transformation, and Mitsuki, a 12-year-old boy, 12 years old little boy, can use it.
Don't fuck with me! I have the power of God and anime on my side! Wait,
But what makes Sage Mode so powerful, and why doesn't everyone try to learn it? Well, Sage Mode is an enhanced state which allows the user to comprehend and use natural energy, which is a source of energy that is present everywhere. The user can then mold the natural energy with their own chakra, creating Senjutsu Chakra. It literally provides the user a new range of jutsu which other people wouldn't have access to, and that's a massive advantage. But the major reasons why Sage Mode is overpowered is because it powers up all taijutsu, ninjutsu, and genjutsu for the user as well. Like even Naruto's Rasengan became a god tier technique with just using Senjutsu Chakra. The Big Ball Rasen Shuriken literally carried a lot of Naruto's epic battles against monsters like Madara. We can even see the enhancement of Senjutsu being showcased recently in Mitsuki within episode 39 of Boruto, in which even Orochimaru, one of the legendary Sannin, was impressed with Mitsuki and he couldn't even stop him or see him in time. Mitsuki even breaks the barrier seal that Orochimaru created like nothing. Now, even though Sage Mode is super overpowered, not everyone can learn it, as using Senjutsu requires an extension level of chakra reserve, because if the user takes in a lot of natural energy with little chakra reserve, their bodies will not be able to handle it otherwise, and the natural energy would immediately overwhelm them. So Orochimaru has modified Mitsuki in this way. So now coming to the question on why Sage Mode and why is Mitsuki so important in the war against the Otsutsuki. The first thing to address is the fact that Senjutsu is an effective way to fight against the 10 tails. The 10-tail beast is what the Otsutsuki uses as an instrument to their missions to cultivate the chakra through and destroy a planet. We explained this in detail in our Otsutsuki and God Tree video, so make sure to check it out if you are utterly confused and you don't know what's happening. Regardless, our new generation shinobi will have to go through a similar hurdle that Naruto and Sasuke did with the 10 tails in the 4th Shinobi War. In Naruto chapter 610 pages 5 and 6, and yes, I'm quoting this shit like it's a Bible, so you know it's a fact, fam. It is stated that the 10 tails vast power is described as feeling like natural energy itself. As such, it can only be sensed by those capable of using Senjutsu. And later in Naruto chapter 643 page 4, it's stated that natural energy is key to defeating the 10 tails Jinchuriki, whose body is immune to ninjutsu. Naruto describes this as fighting natural energy with natural energy. Once again, this idea is pushed by Tobirama in chapter 645 when he reminds everyone that nothing but Senjutsu will work against the 10 tails Jinchuriki effectively. Also, throughout the 4th Shinobi War, it's highly pushed that Senjutsu is the only means to truly fight the 10 tails. Logically, this does make sense, as mentioned in the data books. The 10 tails in general are capable of manipulating natural energy, which is the purest form of energy. So to fight it, natural energy is needed too. Now, I know Amado said in Boruto chapter 46, the 10 tails that Jigen has is different from the 10 tails Naruto and Sasuke fought, but honestly speaking, they work in a similar fashion. As I mentioned earlier, the Jin no Sho data books on page 107 states that the 10 tails has the ability to manipulate natural energy. This is also proven to be the case for the God Tree, and knowing that the 10 tails Jigen has is the seed for the God Tree, it means that this beast is obviously taking on natural energy to grow a God Tree and then convert it into a chakra fruit in the first place, later destroying the planet, and that's just how how this shit works. Another point to note is that senjutsu might actually be effective against the Otsutsuki. The reason being is that natural energy is not easily absorbed by the Otsutsuki like chakra would be. In fact, it's not even proven if they can absorb natural energy properly at all. Why would Orochimaru admit that Mitsuki Sage Mode is a real dangerous power and he won't allow him to use it and yanked it out? So realistically, he didn't really absorb it properly. Even after showing us that he absorbed it, Orochimaru did not display any power up or ability to use his Sage Mode transformation. But then again, you know, he's trash as fuck.
Know your fucking place, trash.
This is one of the main reasons the Otsutsuki have to plant the God Tree seed in the first place, which absorbs natural energy in return to produce a chakra fruit. The chakra fruit is the natural energy which was refined into consumable and absorbable source for the Otsutsuki, since the Otsutsuki cannot generate chakra themselves like humans do. So it's clear that these aliens can't just go around sucking up energy from their surroundings. They need an energy converter, which is the Ten Tails Jubi. Why wouldn't they just use senjutsu then and absorb natural energy all the time like Mitsuki is and Naruto? That doesn't make any sense.
That don't make no sense.
Another evidence is based on the fact that natural energy not derived from chakra is a counter to the karma and Rinnegan. This is proven through the Boruto Manga and even in the recent chapter 47 where Kashin Koji summons the fire from the flaming mountain. Kashin Koji states that the fire is a splendid natural flame not derived from chakra, so Isshiki's karma cannot absorb them. And when it comes to absorbing senjutsu with the Rinnegan, we know from Naruto's fight with Pain that if an opponent tries to even do so, it can be fatal if they absorb too much without having the ability to use Sage Mode themselves. This can be seen with one of the Pains turning into a stone, and this chakra being absorbed wasn't even 100% natural energy, as the chakra Naruto had was a mixture of natural energy with his own chakra. So who is to say that there isn't another level of Sage Mode that can produce a technique purely and only from natural energy? Anyway guys, that is the theory that pretty much broke down all of Orochimaru's secret and why Mitsuki is special and how he's gonna help Boruto defeat the Otsutsuki. So I hope we're all on the same page now as an anime balls deep community. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram to let us know what you thought about this theory, and also say in the comment section below that you got to the end of the video by typing Mitsuki is a balls. I want that Mitsuki's hole. I don't even know what I'm saying anyway.